All right. Hello, bonjour, buenos dias, namaste, hajime mashite, ni hao, assalamu alaikum. Everybody out there in the internet, welcome to Chat with Tekken for October 2024, 2024, however you want to say it. Um, so yeah, Chat with Tekken, if you don't know those three things, videos I'm working on for the channel, change the stuff on the channel, and IRL stuff. Um, kind of, sort of, not really. I still need to update this. I would go into like details on like what the different things are, but it's like whatever. Let's just skip into it. I'll just I I really need to update this, but I just haven't had the time. So videos I'm working on, man. Uh, so yeah, I'm still having technical issues on the streaming front, so I just I kind of just stopped caring, 'cause I didn't want to stress out about it. Because it's like super annoying, man. Because it's just like it's so convenient to just like be able to stream something and it automatically archives, and it basically does. That's like all the work for like if I want to just make a long play video. So if I can't stream, which I kind of I mean I stopped trying because I was like, dude, I'm not gonna stress about this, and I really wanted to play Metaphor. So I got like three parts in, and I was having issues, and I was like, darn. And now I'm really deep into this game. I'm like 150 hours in or something. So I was like, dude, I'll just if there's New Game Plus, I'll New Game Plus it. If not, you know, at least I've got the since I bought two copies since I bought the collector's edition on the 360 or not 360 on Series X. I can just play through that. Um, I guess, and that'll be that. If my Twitch decides to work or not, whatever, we'll see. Um, one second, because like yeah. Besides that, I don't think there's anything else. I can pull it up real quick on my phone because I'm like, well, what else have I been playing? But I think it's pretty much been that. It's pretty interesting actually on as far as Metaphor goes. Like it's very unique in that I've I've kind of like played it to the point where like I've like fallen asleep multiple times while playing, and I would just like wake up and like keep going, and like that's not usually the case, but that kind of just like how things are with my life right now. Is I just yeah, I'm kind of tired all the time, and it's just like finding time to play is not as easy. Um, and I do just like I prefer to like play for like really long stretches of time. And like if I can't, it's like you know I would used to be bummed out about it, but now it's like dude, I'll just go until I pass out or fall asleep, and then it's like I'll just and then I'll like have gotten some gaming in at least. Yeah, I'm really enjoying this game. Just thematically, I like the whole like the parallel it draws with like the character that you're in like the fantasy world, but then he has like his little book that's like a mirror on like the real world and like all the thematic stuff with that and like you're in the tournament for the king, but then it's like reflecting on the society and like how it would be structured if like it was an ideal utopia and like it keeps saying utopia and I just like the fact it just like keeps going back and forth between that and like you've got the like the fantasy world with all the different tribes. It's just really good juxtaposition and like all the themes really just like hit and I just like it's just that one aspect of it is just like I just really like enjoy it just because it keeps going back and forth and like you see all the like every time you go to like a new area and you've got like a different group of characters or different setting with the tribes and how they interact and it's just very well done um and like the conflict and how it's resolved or just how things play out and like the prejudices and like the discrimination that goes on in like the fantasy setting, which is kind of just really awesome, honestly, because it's like it just isn't. It just doesn't feel like it's really seen very much in like a fantasy setting, or just like most games are just like way more not as I can't think of the word, but like yeah, it doesn't really like show it like in that light. It's like way more like positive and like less like man, what a world to live in. Um, But then like, the main character goes to his like storybook and he'll like show it just like someone every now and then and it has like a chapter and it goes like in depth on well, not in depth, but it's just like a really like a like a very brief snippet of like something of like a modern society, but then it's like based in a utopia, so it's like the ideal way it should be, right? But then it's like, so it's like even like within like looking at the utopia version of like what it is in like the character storybook versus like what it is in reality, and it's like, yeah, utopia, because it's not like that. Because like there is one about like the judicial system. There is one about I want to say, gosh, there's I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at it. I don't know if you can pull them up from the whatchamacallit, not the glossary, but there's some other thing where like it has all the stuff, but I don't think you can like replay them after you've seen them. But they're really well done. I really like it. Super really super good stuff. Um, but yeah, man, like I think I'm almost at the end. I'm not gonna say where I'm at 'cause I don't want to spoil it. Um, I think I'm at the final boss. I'm not like at the final boss, but like I just did a dungeon and it was. But there's been like a lot of teases in this game of like, oh, we're at the end now, the final day, and it's just like, dude, I'm kind of getting to the point of like, can we please wrap it up? Because it's like I don't know how much more is there. It's all been really good. I've enjoyed it, but it's like they're kind of in danger of like overstaying the welcome, which is like, dude, can we get to the end, please? And it's just like the last dungeon was so big, and I was like, wow, I wasn't expecting it to be this large, and it's like, oh, but then the music was awesome. That was, dude, that's another thing. Okay, so I guess I've been playing, if you can't tell, Metaphor Fantasio, and like I was looking forward to this game like all year long. This was like my top of the list game, and it hit, man. Like so, but like the music, man, like there's like monastic like monk chanting. I didn't expect that, and it's just really effing good, and just like such a different like style that you don't hear very often. I was just like, wow, just so good. And then I bought the like I said, like the premium edition. Well, I bought like two different copies, but like whatever. So like the digital copy I bought that I'm playing on PS5, it's got like the different costumes from the different Persona games, and like if you give all the characters the outfit, I don't know if it's all the characters or just one, but like I've been having them wearing matching outfits, and like when the battle music comes on, it's from a different Persona game, and I was just like, wait, when like the Persona 3 thing, I had like a reverse, like that's a Raven of like I like not you see the future, but you see the past because it just took me back to like that battle music, and I was just like, dude, I have not I heard that in such, and I heard it in such a long time. I had such a, like just a reaction of just like, oh, so I just had to sit there and like listen to it and just like so good. But yeah, it's just I've not. That's the other thing, right? Is like for me, I've got a bunch of the old Persona games. I just have not put the time in to play them, and I usually bounce off really fast because I'm playing so much stuff at the same time, and I don't really stick with them. And like I've just heard over time, like they're all really good, and it's my cup of tea anyway, because it's like an Atlas JRPG. So I've got like let's see, I've got three Fez. I put a tweet out about it the other day because I was like, I know I've got a bunch of these, and I've never played any of them, and this is like I mean, this is more of like a spin-off. It's like another sub-series, it seems like, or a spin-off of like the Shin Megami Tensei or SMT style. And there's so many like cool like references in game too, like the farther in you get, and it's just like, oh man, I probably enjoy these more if I would have like played the other ones and stuff. Cause like there's a Jack Frost summon, or Jack Frost is even in the game. That was pretty cool. A bunch of other like Persona summons are in there, and like you know or just or Persona creature summons, like from that series. Though I guess they're probably in SMT as well, but I haven't really played SMT. I picked up five. I haven't played it this year, or was that last year? I think it was this year because I was like the Monster Hunter ports to, or the Monster Hunter Stories ports to the current gen, or not current gen PS5. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm kind of tired, but like yeah. But yeah, man, it's just wow, just really good as far as like the mechanics. There's like elemental stuff. There's a bunch of status effects. That's the other thing is like I am not really like not having played so many of these because I'm more of a Final Fantasy person. Like it's more challenging for sure because you'll get deep into a dungeon and you get into like those Magla whatever rooms, but you can only save or go to academia. You can't like You can't just. It's like it's not like there's just like a save crystal at the end of the dungeon, and it's like you get all your HP and MP back before a boss fight. It's like no, you got to go through, get to the boss, and then it's like you have to decide: do you want to spend a day to rest or keep going? But I've just always been like I've just one shot at all these dungeons though, so it hasn't been an issue. Um, I've quite enjoyed the pay. Like yeah, the it's yeah. I'm sorry. I'm kind of like all over the place here. I haven't actually like talked to anybody about this game because it feels like it's such a like a some of its parts game, and it's like a star graph where like each part is just done so well and it all like comes together that like the gameplay is just like one part of it, but then like it does such a good job with all the like the bonding and social links with like your party members and just hanging out in between adventures. That was awesome as well. Cause I really, 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 really like when like you'll do something and like the day will progress, and then you'll come back to town and like you're all just like chilling at the tavern, or you're just like eating a meal together and just ah, so good, so effing good. And just like man, I was like, dude, this game does this like better than like any game I played, and I played so many games, and it's just like it's like it doesn't even like no games like really approach this like level of like doing it that good, because like it's a kind of like a different style though, because like even with like the side stories that you get with each party member as you build up like your social links. They're not called that in this game. It's a persona thing, whatever. Anyway, so it's like you get like you hang out with them and like you build up the thing, right? And like you have this whole side quest like quest chain, story arc. So it's like as opposed to it just being like a one and done or just like two or three or four, however many like you know things you go and help this person with, and then like that's it for them for the whole game, and then they're kind of like just done adventuring with them, and they just repeat dialogue to you the whole time. It's like you have like a whole like thing that like builds up to like you're building up your social bond or whatever with that person. Like as you do it, you unlock more stuff with that person's archetype, which is yeah, the job system. I mean, the job system is not bad. It's just different in this game because I've been just like sticking to like one thing for like most characters, and then like until I'm like like mastered it, I won't skip to another one. I've been like jumping around a bunch of like different things because I guess I just wasn't familiar with it. It didn't seem like yeah, it's like you're not really like locked into something because it's not going to unlock the next thing, which is like a Final Fantasy style. So it's like my brain is like more Final Fantasy style when I play. So or just I've played like more of that style of game. So like coming into this, it's like just very different, like how the progression of how you unlock things works. I mean, you still have to like level something up to get to the next thing behind it. That's like a it's in the same like archetype tree. But to unlock that specific node, you have to do stuff sometimes to get it to unlock. So it's not like a very like the linear progression of like how you level your characters and or not your characters, but your how you level the archetypes and unlock them is not the same. At least like once you get past the basic stuff, like the basic stuff is like usually there from the start. And then, like once you get like that to 20, it's like the one behind it can usually maybe be unless it's was it Apex or whatever, or like the elite or yeah, the elite ones are like more advanced. And like later on you get the royal ones, which man, I recently got access to those, and like you have to get a bunch of things to get that one, and ugh, that was like dude, I saw some of those and I'm just like I don't even think it's worth it, but then because I had so many of those level up things for the if you just leave them unmastered. I had a bunch of them, so I just kept doing that. As far as like if a character's, I'm sorry, I'm like kicking the chair that my laptop's on, so the webcam's kind of moving. But but yeah, man, like if you like I lost didn't lose my train of thought, but like yeah, if you like once you get like the royal stuff, it's like you kind of like to bounce around like a bunch of different archetypes, but then like unlocking them is not like I said, it's kind of not easy if they're you know the like initial node of that class, like let's say like ninja for example, like you've got thief, then you've got assassin, then you've got ninja, but you have to get like to get assassin you have to get thief to 20 level 20, and then to get ninja, I think you have to get assassin to 20 or 10, and then you unlock assassin, and then like the prerequisite for like the royal stuff is like the saving grace for that is like they're not all 20s. They're like, some have to be 10, some have to be 15, maybe some are 10, maybe some are 20, but it's just yeah. But then you also have some of the elite archetypes that are like, 15, 10, not 20. But there's so many that you have to like bounce around the archetype tree, and it's just like, dude, it's like the way I played the game. It's like I was just having very specific like builds on characters, and then I wasn't like really worried about that. But like the farther in I got, I need to have more stuff leveled up. But then, like I was saying, as far as like if your character stays on like level 20 and they level up if they level up the archetype, they get like an item that they can use to give another archetype, or like when you're it's like an item you can use to get like XP essentially. Um, and like you get a bunch of those. Like I had a bunch of those. So it wasn't an issue. It's just like, but there's like so much of like like not just a secondary archetype if you want to get something, but like a tertiary one. So it's like I'm trying to think like an example would be like you've got knight, you've got paladin and dark knight, which both need knight. Oh wait, no, you've got knight, magic knight, dark knight, paladin. And so like dark knight and paladin need like both knight leveled up all the way, and then magic knight leveled up to like whatever, and then you've got those. But then to get dark knight and paladin, you have to get your uh you have to get Hulkenberg or whatever her name is leveled up, or her her reputation meter. I can't think of what it's called, but her social bond to like 8, or maybe not 8, but like it has to go pretty high to get like the third set. So all like the third set of like jobs, kind of have to go deep on like the social bonding stuff. Um, I kind of messed that up because at some point I unlocked a thing. I know it. Okay, I'm not gonna say what I unlocked, but there was something that I was using in between like every dungeon or whatever, or every time we went to a dungeon, I think, and we're on the gauntlet walkers, which are pretty man. Those are awesome too. Like that's just like a cool change up of like the traversal on like a JRPG. Because like at first you have them and then they're basically landlocked and you're only like going across long distances. And like their design is pretty cool because they're just like they're gauntlet walkers. They walk on or gauntlet runners, and like they just they have legs or they're not like literal legs, but the way they're designed, it's like a quadrupedal tank thing. It's pretty cool because it's such a different design. And eventually we go across water, and they're like a water based. And then like as you get your bond up with like the engineer, he got like he get. I'm not, but I think that's a story moment. I don't think it matters like if your bond is high enough, but like eventually it turns into an airship, and it's like what? And then like it's cool because like early on in the game, it takes like 2 to 3 days to get somewhere, which like eats into your time. But once you get the airship, dude, it's like one day to like get anywhere, and it's like that was ah. But like that's the awesome thing about this game, right? Is like the progression of like everything is like you start like but like I was saying, it's like it's not just like the combat as far as like dungeon crawling and whatever. It's like everything is like kind of like built around the whole like just starting small, but then you just it and like the star graph, so it's not just like combat or your weapons or like traversal or like the gameplay like layer of just like turn-based stuff, which is cool because they solve turn-based in this game. I feel like because it's called squad battle when like you actually go into the battles that are turn-based, but like on the overfield or whatever it's called on the mini on the overworld screen. There we go. Before you actually go into like the battle, you can like see enemies. You can like run up to them and attack them, and like if they're trash mobs and they're like super low level under you, you can just like kill them in one hit and you still get XP and items. And it's like, oh, that was. I'm trying to think in my brain because I'm like, I know that mechanic is a thing, but I don't think it's to that extent where it's like you can just kill them. Because I'm like, I don't think it is point one. If it is point two, well played, whoever did it first. But I think it's just become like super popularized with this game. But then it's like I think they kind of solved the random encounter thing for JRPGs because it's not even random encounter, right? Because it's like you basically can see the enemies where they're at. You can attack them, and if they're low enough, you kill them. And if they're not low enough, you just stun them, but you get like a extra, like yeah, you stun them, and then like depending on how you play that fight, they'll be stunned for 2 rounds of battle or two rounds of combat, I should say. And then so you get an advantage going into it. Cause I kind of feel like I feel like that's a thing in other games. Like I feel like in Xenosaga or like Grandia, when like you can see enemies on the field, it's like you maybe get like preemptive something or other, or just like the combat encounters in Final Fantasy when like you attack people from behind or they're not facing you, which is preemptive. But like that's not in Final Fantasy, but it's like a thing that's like in other games, like you get that advantage of like they're either not facing you or you get some sort of you get some sort of like you move first or like advantage or whatever. Or you're always getting like an advantage from it. But like in this one, it like went to like the next level of like, what if you could just kill everything that was like below you, or just like you're so or like everything that you're over leveled against and like is just like not even a threat. What if you just like kill it? And it's like what? So it's just like, dude, I think they just saw random encounters. But then thinking about it, I guess it's not random if it's not random because you can see everything. But you know what I'm saying? It's like they kind of took a very good leap in my opinion of like how to solve for that solve for the encounters in JRPGs. I mean, even Chrono Trigger does that, right? Like you see enemies, or not that you see them, but like it seems like there's no random encounters in Chrono Trigger because like all the enemies are on the field at all times. It's been a minute since I played that though, because I feel like every enemy you see is like in the thing, right? It's not like a random encounter Dragon Quest style. But man, that'd be interesting to see like how Dragon Quest would like adapt and like change to that. Anywho, uh, I'm sorry, I've been playing this game like a lot, and I'm 150 hours in. I kind of wanted to have like a setup this time to like where I talked over the game again and like just switch between like video outputs to just show it, but it's just like, dude, it's not that serious. I'm thinking of doing like a secondary channel with Tekken of like, but I don't know what it's gonna be called yet, where it's like, you know, I'm on the menu of a console. Like I've been like like a couple chatting with Tekkens ago when I was just talking over the console menu, and I just like scroll through what I've been playing, talk about stuff. Anywho, I'm sorry I've been like super deep on Metaphor ReFantazio. It's a really good game. You should check it out. At least if you're into JRPGs. If not, there's a demo, so just play the demo and like judge for yourself. I really like it. I love the game. I haven't finished it yet. It's it is yeah it is right up there at the top of my list so far this year. Which actually going into let me find it. Where's that? Okay, so I was looking over my yeah, I was I was scrolling through my console, like looking at my games and stuff. I was like in the store browsing games. I don't know. I just do that sometimes because I'm a weirdo. But then I was like, you know what? I think I've had like enough games this year that I really enjoyed that are like of that level of like I can probably put out like a top five at the end of the year this year and not be like late like I usually am. And then like even though there's a bunch of stuff I didn't play that I bought, like I know I'm not going to go back to it or like not get to it like soon enough to like have it affect my listing. Cause that's what I did last year. I think I was like, well, if I go back and play Live a Live or Live Alive or whatever it's called, but I never did. So it's like, you know, dude, it's whatever. Just I'll just like from now on be like, okay, this is all I played this year. There's other stuff that came out. I shouldn't get to it. I'm sorry. Accidental snub if the game was awesome, but hey, I still bought it. So because I still have got my like list of like stuff I pick up every like or that my monthly games and stuff every year. So there's that too. So it's not like I didn't buy the game. I just didn't play it, or I didn't get around to playing it. I guess I shouldn't say what's on the list, huh? Because I would like spoil it. But I do have five, so we're good to go. And like I haven't even played Dragon Age, which came out and I pre-ordered, and I'm man, I'm still behind in Dragon Age, dude. I feel like I'm at the very end of that game, and it just gets hard. And like I changed the difficulty to casual, and I still was getting killed. And I was like, dude, I'll have to look up a guide or something, because like, what the f? Like, if I put it on casual difficulty and I'm getting mowed down by enemies, that's a problem. Like I have like really yeah, like I have like good armor and good skills, and I'm like I don't know what's going on here, but it seems like it's harder than it should be, or just there's a balance issue. I don't know, but yeah, I just Dragon Age, man. or Origins anyway. It, I enjoy that game, but like there's certain parts of it that just like really make me just like rage, like the projectile weaponry or attacks on you when you're like trying to fight something. If if you yourself are like not a ranged character, it's not a fun time. That being said, the story, wow, it goes places. It gets really good the farther in you get, and I'm just like, I can't get past the end, and I'm kind of pissed about it because I'm like, I need to finish this so I can move on to Dragon Age 2. And then, yeah, Velguard came out, or the Velguard. I'm not gonna play it until I get through all the other games because I saw that you get to make a, or it asks you to make your Inquisitor from Inquisition, and I was like, kind of weird. It doesn't just import it, but okay. But like, knowing that there's gonna be like, I mean, they probably just make. I mean, I think I saw just like a cameo or something, but it's like, knowing that there's like callbacks to previous games. Like, I'm not gonna just jump into it like I did Baldur's Gate 3. Like Baldur's Gate 3, dude, it was like the zeitgeist moment of like everyone is talking about this game, everyone's saying this game's awesome. I kind of want to play this game and like not be left behind, so I'm glad I did that. And it's funny because I didn't accidentally delete it, but I was like doing something on my PS5. Oh, something needed an update, and I was like, dude, I'm not coming back to this game because every time I play, it takes 3 months. So I just deleted it, and I was like, oh no, I could have just copied it to the USB, my USB thing, and I was like, ah. And then I had the same thing happen with my Xbox, where it's like, there's this dusty external drive that's just like sitting here, and I'm like, I don't even know what's on this, and I plugged it into my Xbox. It's all my 360 and and like OG Xbox games I bought, and I'm like, oh, so I should have been putting all these that I bought on the store recently onto this one, and that's what I just did recently. And it's like, so I can just play them off the hard drive versus putting them on the Series X storage, which is slowly running out of space because the games are so large. But yeah, that's a whole thing. Because yeah, because even PS5 Pro, it's like I was going to get it at launch, but I think I'm gonna wait. Like I'm gonna wait like at least a. See, I'm not gonna wait like too long because I want to pick it up before Black Friday. But like since next month's November, it comes out, November 7th anyway, so it's kind of like just terrible timing. And it's in 7 day, and it's just a whole thing. So it's like I really hope there's something about Mass Effect that day. And since like they said once Velguard's out, they can just focus on. I mean, I'm kind of like too like please just start everything Mass Effect Bioware, but like or just move everybody over. Don't even worry about DLC or post game support or patching the game. I'm like, all right, Velguard's out the door. Let's everybody move on to Mass Effect because I just yes. But yeah, uh, but like yeah, dude, like the stuff with the PlayStation app lately with like the stars thing, and like they took off the PSN codes, and I've been like saving up money so I could like use them, and it's like oh, it's gonna be like that because it's like dude, I've been like, it's just really frustrating, man. It's just like I'm kind of it's like I mean, I'm not like to the point. I mean, I'm not okay. Not to. I'm not to. Okay, I misspoke there. It's like I'm getting to the point of just like if it wasn't for like having to like upgrade GPUs or like however often, or just like if you look at the Steam Deck, right, and like you can't even play, or like what's like the shelf life for Steam Deck? If you look at like how good does stuff run that is like coming out now on it that's like brand new PC games versus like when it first came out. And it's kind of getting, where it's like you can't even play like the most recent stuff at like the whatever settings. And it's like, now I'm glad I waited on that. But I'm like, I will probably, if they ever make one that is just like the Switch and you just like dock it to the TV or just like someone does something. I don't know. I just really wish there was like a console solution for PC gaming because it's like if I have a PC, it's just gonna sit there and never turn it on because I have like two computers right there, and it's just like, dude, they're just gathering dust, and it's just like it's whatever. I to get to the point as to not go like on some random tangent here for 1,000 years. It's like I just want to turn something on and then start the game up and then be playing the game because it's like the PC gaming or gaming PC rather is like not get a dedicated PC or sorry not a dedicated or it might be a dedicated gaming device, but it's like it has other utilities, so it's like you can get sidetracked or just like distracted. You know, it's like, oh, I'm gonna go play XYZ, and then like you're browsing whatever in your browser, and it's like, oh, didn't get to play XYZ because I wasn't playing something. I just fell into an internet wormhole. You know, it's like, or rabbit hole. I mean, same difference, whatever. Yeah. So it's like, I don't want to like, have my PC gaming be tied to like a device that I'm going to turn it on and just like lose myself in some like, internet rabbit hole or just like go stream some video. And it's like, oh, I'm streaming videos for like X. It's like, yeah, it's just, and like I turned this thing on to do this thing and I never did the thing. That never happens when I play console because I'm always just like, all right, boot it up, start the game. And it's just like, yes. Whereas like the off ramp on PC gaming is like too, even when it's narrow, it's just like it's just too it being there is like too much of a problem. I okay, I'm kind of like lost the plot here as far as like trying to take it. I'm sorry, but yeah, these I'm working on. I would like to get some Metaphor Fantasio stuff up. Actually, I did actually. Oh my gosh, I hope I didn't just close that. I was just looking at the thing. See, Monster Hunter Wilds, the beta dropped. Played that. Um, I'm just gonna play it as they update it because I'm sure they're gonna update it a bunch for Worlds. They did like the Nergigante thing like at the very end. So I imagine at some point. I mean, there's already like a crazy monster in there that's like not the one that you fight in the demo that you can play in expedition mode. But I was like, dude, I'm not like like yeah. I can't be bothered to do it because I know like I can't carve or capture. I'm sorry, kill or capture this thing and like get the parts and like have it be exported to the full game. So why would I waste my time? It's like, and like I played the first hunts and it's like the mechanics are still there. So it's like, it's not like it's like, yeah, and I know I'm gonna put like 1,000 hours in, or like at least 100 hours into it. So it's like I got plenty of time to get good or whatever. Just get acclimated, which I kind of already am because it's not that steep of a learning curve once you've played one. Okay, maybe not one, but like anywho, it's not that complex of a game. Okay, it's like and they even added like where the weak spots are if you hold down L, like the focus thing. So it's like, yeah, hold down L2 and like see where the weak spots are. Hit it in the weak spot. The weak spot explodes. The parts break. It's like, which is kind of interesting because it's like even easier to break parts it seems, but then there's probably more there, Because I saw RPG tweet about like he cut the tail off of one of them, and then I was like going to town on the tail of like the Kushila whatever, or whatever the pack monster one. I thought that was a cool mechanic though. You had to like split the alpha from the pack to like hunt it properly, separate like alone. So I'm kind of like that. Like that mechanic was cool. Like the weather stuff is cool. The like yeah. So there's like a lot of the cool stuff happening. But I only played it once, so it's like I don't want to go. Like I kind of just like want to save it for the full version, because just playing the demo, it's like I can like see all the textures like slowly like they're not all the way there, or they're just like kind of and it's just like yeah, kind of just I kind of just like I will I don't want to like keep seeing the ugly in the not finished version. There's that too. But anyway, it's like yeah, Monster Hunter Wilds. I already period it, so get ready for that when that comes out. Hopefully my streaming stuff is like working. If not, whatever. It's like new era where I just don't play stuff, or not don't play stuff, but like I don't play stuff on stream, and like I try to figure it out as far as like here's a weekly update of what I played, what happened. I think that's what I'll probably go to because it's just easier. Um, but yeah, I made like a long create button clip because like that didn't seem very long when I finished it, and I was like, well, I did want to play it on stream, but since my internet sucks, well, at least I could do that. But yeah, even when I was like uploading the clip, my like added like a network error. So I was like, dude, I don't know what it is. I think it's just like I don't know what it is. I'm not a IT person as far as like network stuff goes. But like my download speed's like half of what it was. My upload speed is the same, so it's like I feel like it shouldn't be an issue on like upload like upstream because it's upload speed. So it's like yeah, I shouldn't have any issues with like streaming because it's like upload like upstream. So it's like I don't know. But my downstream is like half as fast, but it's still good. So I'm like, I don't understand, why I'm having any issues. But yeah, I don't know, man. Anywho, but yeah, that's kind of it. If I'm looking back at this since the last time I taken, oh dude, I completely forgot Sword Art Online. Okay, so Sword Art Online Factual Fractured Daydream it was okay. It was okay. It wasn't bad, but like it wasn't like good enough for me to be like, oh, pretty good game. It's or just like to gush over it. It's like it's not bad. It's like I hadn't played like a licensed anime game since like PS2 era. Man, because I just didn't play those games on PS3 and PS4, I guess. Maybe PS3, probably not though. Thinking back, because it's just like like yeah, yeah, man. Yeah, it's like I think after Arkham, it's just like if it's not that level, it's like I'm not gonna bother with this, and it's just like I just stop, or just like yeah, and if it's or it has to be like adapted from like or if it's like Bandai Namco, right, and it's like a anime property. If it's something I'm not a fan of, I just don't care. And like I kind of just haven't been watching a lot of stuff lately. But Sword Art, I love. And there's been a bunch of games, but I haven't played any of them. And I was like, But there's like a 20-person co-op mode, and I was like, that sounds neat. And I was like, okay, let's check that out. But then the funny thing is like the game is not localized, or like the voiceover is like in Japanese, so there's no English dub. And I'm like, whatever, man. Um, I mean, the Yakuza games I played, some of them, I think maybe all of them actually are like not in English, so that's kind of funny. Cause I was like, cause I had to go back and look. I was like, did I play any games besides this that were like not in English? And I had to check. And I was like, But yeah, it was a fun time. But yeah, that Dragon Age I talked about, Metaphor I talked about. All right, so yeah, Monster Hunter Wilds. I'm trying to like just I'm looking at the time on this. I'm like, dude, I'm at 40 minutes. What? Okay, 30 plus minutes. Soon to be 40 because I can't help myself. As far as changing the stuff on the channel. Oh, before I go to change on the channel, I did make some create button clips of, I want to say Forspoken. I played the DLC. I tried streaming it, but then the stream crapped out. So I just made like really long create button clips, which is probably going to be the future as far as like moving into change on the channel, changing the stuff on the channel. I think I might just make a bunch of create button clips, uh, and like or start making a bunch of clips and then uploading them. Maybe commentate over them, but probably not because that takes time and effort. And we all know how I feel about that. Yeah. Oh, I guess also because we're at the end of the year, right? So I think the only thing left this year for me on my list is Stalker. Oh, that's not true. I did pick up a bunch of stuff actually. Um, that wasn't on my list. I kind of kept that going this year. It's like, dude, that was this year's. Like, I was just over budget, man. Like, there's a bunch of stuff that is not on my list that I picked up, and I just didn't stop doing that. So yeah, I picked up a bunch of stuff like I didn't think I was gonna get. But it kind of ties into the whole like PSN PlayStation Stars thing. But then they took the effing codes off the store, and so now I'm kind of like, do I even want to bother like giving them more money? Because it's like effers took off the PSN codes off the PlayStation Stars, so it's like there's no incentive to buy anything. Um, and it's like, well, I could, but it's like I can't still get like Dragon Quest 3 or 1 or whichever one it is, the HD remake of that one, the Sakaguchi game. I think it's called Fantasian or whatever, Fantasian, however it's pronounced. Okay, I'm picking those two up. Definitely picking up Fantasian. Stalker 2. Okay, so the thing about Stalker 2, right, is like it's on Series X, but then since this is the year that like Xbox surrendered and like just stopped trying, and like everything's coming to PlayStation, if not like day one, like a year or however long after, I'm just gonna get it on PlayStation, man. Like unless they like really do something stupid here in the next 6 months, which I think they could because they already messed with the PlayStation Stars. That's your thing, right? Is like now that the pendulum has swung so far, and like PlayStation is just like not going to lose to Xbox, and it's really just them and Nintendo now as far as like who's in the fight. But then it's like that's the thing. It's like that's asymmetrical warfare because like Nintendo's not going after the same audience, and they don't make the same type of games, and it's like vice versa with PlayStation. So it's like they're kind of like two entities in their own lane that are like coexisting but just do different things. And I know where I stand with each of them, and it's like I'm kind of really don't really care about Nintendo at this point. And it's like, okay, yeah, the Xenosaga, I'm sorry, Xenoblade Chronicles X Essential whatever version looks cool. Actually, the visuals of that when they did the side by side, I was like, dude, this looks like Xenosaga, but like, I keep saying that too as far as like every time I see like a game in like the artistic style of like the cell shaded, or not just the cell shaded, but just like the way that the characters are drawn, like the art style and the aesthetic, right, of like the modern Japanese games. They look very like Xenosaga. So it's just like interesting to me that like it survived all this time, even though it was like I wouldn't say controversial at the time, but it was just like really annoying the like way that like game journalists were like writing about it if they weren't fans of the look. And then like it got toned down in the second game, and it was just like okay. And I just got the third game this year, so I haven't played it. But it's like, dude, it's like they should just stuck with the effing Xenosaga One style. Anyway, but it's like it's still there. It's like it's still around. It's kind of timeless because it's still being used. So, you know, haha, we won. And then Monolith Soft was right the first time around. Um, what was I saying? Oh, so yeah, Switch successor. So it's like I don't know, man. Like I'm like halfway there, but I have so much just like like you know I don't need another console, and I get like, but then like PlayStation is kind of just like constantly like stepping on rakes lately. Not to the extent of like Microsoft did with like Xbox, where it just imploded, but just it's like it's kind of on the brink of like being back at PS3 era of just like we're not even going to try, and this is all you can take because you're not going to go anywhere else, and it's just super super frustrating. Because like for me, it's like I kind of I'm like not that I'm like not to the level of just like I'm done with PlayStation, but like I can see people's arguments, but then like when I listen to them and it's like you hear them talk and it's like do you hear what you're saying right now? Because they'll say something like, oh man, I don't like how everything's going in all digital, and I'm going to get a disc drive for my PlayStation and physical all the way. But then they'll say something about like, oh, but I should switch to PC. Well, it's like, well, if you switch to PC and you're playing on Steam, those games are all digital, and they just put out a thing about like you don't own them. So it's like have fun buying your physical copy of your PC game, which is that even a thing anymore? Because last time I checked, I buy my games on Steam and GOG, so I wouldn't know about that. But maybe they do. Maybe the physical PC games exist somewhere. But like even if they do, it's like kind of like the same thing with like the Xbox right now, where it takes the disc and it installs it, and it's and like you're probably playing off of or I guess that's depending on like the DRM, right? But then like if it's not, it's probably just. But it just seems so very like digital distribution like at like not adjacent, but like sup- heavy or weighted, where it's like all you have like I don't know. It's whatever. It's just yeah, or just how a lot of like physical games have like codes, like digital codes when you buy them, at least on Switch. So it's a whole thing as far as like yeah, it's not really winning that battle, but okay, have fun yelling at clouds. Um, That man, that was what a tangent. That went places. So I picked up another game. I have not been to any of the retro GameStops, but like supposedly it's like not that good, and then it's kind of just I don't know. I feel like it was kind of like a flash in the pan as far as like you know, it like for the first like week or two, if you didn't get what they had, you're kind of like SOL because all the good stuff's probably gone and taken. But I man, this doesn't have to do with that. It's just like I'm trying to like trade or like it. This is a long story and I don't want to get into it, but it's like basically whenever I get PSN codes, I get into GameStop because you get the power up reward points, and you can like use those on like stuff like to turn in whatever whatever. And so my plan is always to like just build that up, and then like whenever there's new hardware, I'll just take whatever's in there and then spin it towards that. And since PS5 Pro's coming out, I'm like, okay, well I can trade this in my other PS5, or not my other PS5 because I don't have two, but I can trade my PS5 in for like 350, and I have like at least $50 of like the power whatever whatever. So that's $400 off the 700. Is it 700 or 600? However much it is, whatever. It's like I honestly don't care because I can afford it. It's 700, right? So it's like effing. So that's 400 off of that. That's like three. So it's only 300 after that. So it's like it's not that bad. And then like Switch successor, if it came out, it'd be the same thing where it's like okay, it wouldn't be the same because I couldn't trade in like a Switch or whatever towards it, but I could use the Pro whatever points to get some codes or whatever how it works. But like basically you get like points that you turn in to get the the, the whatever dollars off or your point or your reward points whatever. Anyway, but like but like I think because I have so many, there's like a certain amount that runs out every month that it gives me an email. That I get an email from them. So I've kind of like been having to spend some every month on like stuff. Well, I don't have to, but I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'll just go for 360 games at this point because I can't play PS3 games on my PS5, and it's like annoying to have to hook up my PS3 when I want to play PS3 games. So I've been going for 360 stuff. So I guess I could go and get it real quick. I don't have it next to me, but so this month I picked up Syndicate. It's like 15 bucks. At least it says it's 15 bucks. I'm pretty sure it was like 15 bucks. And I got like 6 bucks off. But like the shipping for GameStop is like way high. So it's like, it wasn't just 15 bucks. It was or whatever. It was it was whatever it was. It wasn't a lot. It was like less than 20 bucks. And to me it's like if it's less than 20 bucks, that's always a good price. So that was this month's game. And then last month I picked up Gears of War Judgment because I didn't have this. So now I've got all the Gears of War games, I think, except for like the ones after 3 because that's when I stopped playing Gears games. I was like, okay, trilogy's over. They won. The Lambit lost until I guess they didn't because they had to keep the story going because of money and stuff. So got to keep selling. Got to keep selling or whatever. Uh, but yeah, man, I got a bunch of different ideas. I keep saying this a lot of the times on Channel Taken. It's like I've got a lot of ideas about different video stuff. But then like one popped into my head like this last week. But then like it like popped into my head and like as soon as it was in there, it was like gone. And I just thought of like the idea of it was like, oh, that's not a bad idea. Cause like, but like I don't remember like what it was. So I'm just like, oh, it was such a good idea. And I had like this happens a lot when I don't write these down or put them in my phone on like a document. But like, so I was thinking in January I turned 40, and I was like, I could do some sort of like top 40 games or like 40 years of awesome, and go through like my favorite game of like each year. But then I was like, technically speaking, I probably didn't play that game every year because if I do a game in the year I was born, clearly I couldn't play the game because I was just an infant. So that's not how that works. So, but then I guess like with the power of hindsight and how I feel about games now, I can just be like, what was out then that I probably would have really liked, and or just like thinking from a legacy perspective. I don't know of like this game from back then that is like a game now or was influential on a game that I like now or something. But I was like, that's an idea. That's like just 40 games every year. Like, what's my favorite one each year? Or just like a top 40 list or something. I just yeah, it's in the brainstorming workshop mode. It may or may not happen. Am I still on changing on the channel? I probably am because I have not looked at my phone to see where I'm at on the flipping. I need to update this. Speaking of like effing out of date outlines. Yeah, dude. I think that's the new format Channel taken is like I'm just gonna do an hour and like I used to try to keep it short or just like try to keep it whatever. But it's like what? I'll give myself an hour every month talk about stuff, and that's that. And it's like I think going forward at some point I'll get it to like maybe a weekly format, maybe do more than one a month. It's like because at some point I would like to, I guess not bring back. That's not how that works. Or just like yeah. Yeah, you know, somehow incorporate into like maybe getting into like a podcast format, like an hour long. It doesn't even have to be an hour. I don't know. I just feel like if I did stuff like this every week versus every month, it's like it would cut down on the time of these. and it and it's like lately when I'm doing them, I'm just like, man, these are going really long. And I'm like, oh, I guess I haven't done any videos where I talk about what I've been playing, and I haven't done any podcasts. So it's like, yeah, it just has to stay in my brain, and it just goes out of my brain, and it's all, oh, yeah, once a month I should probably, if I like, if you look at the distributive property, I think that's how that is. where it's like, you've got the thing and then you take it multiple times out. The thing that you're taking from is like a smaller amount, or I think that's how that works. It's been a minute. It's a math thing, whatever. I don't know where I'm going with this video, dude. Uh, but yeah, as far as like changing the channel, don't expect much because how much does it change in the entire year? Because we're almost in November and December, and I usually don't do a lot in November because well, that's I guess late November I should specify. But for the most part, it's like, dude, once I get to November, it's like I'm just gonna like not try to do much at all because I have to get through the holiday season at my job, and that's a lot of hours I have to work. And I just worked like, gosh, I did like a 60-hour work week, 60-ish, we'll say, because I think there's like one day, and I got like off a couple hours early because I worked like 6 days straight or something crazy. Yeah, it was 6 days straight, 10 hours. I was like, oh my gosh. Wait, no, I did work all the days that week, and I remember that now because I was like, oh, I'm gonna have enough money for PS5 Pro, but then PlayStation going to PlayStation, and then like, yeah, it's like, I just need the PlayStation to like not do any like arrogant hubristic things for like the next rest of the console generation, but I know they will. And it's just like really annoying. And then like after Astro Bot, it's like, dude, I wish they would just like take the Capcom model of like, all right, here's the thing. We'll have like new IPs, we'll have remasters, and we'll have remakes. And we got three pillars. And I feel like you could do like a fourth pillar where it's like, we'll do, you know, I'm trying to think because it's like not quite new IPs, but just, oh, okay, there's five pillars because you've got new IP, then you've got like legacy properties that are already like established, right? So like Ragnarok, Horizon 2, Gran Turismo 7, Spider-Man 2. Whenever they make like Spider-Man 3 or Venom or whatever or Wolverine, 'cause it's Insomniac anyway. But like games are like sequels or franchises and just a new entry in them. So you've got like sequels to whatever's ongoing. You got the new IP for new stuff like Returnal, remasters and remakes. I feel like that can be like it can be separate, but like you could just combine it to a third. If you wanted to be two different ones, whatever your model looks like, whatever. This is just my brain thinking out loud. So you've got like remasters, you got remakes, like the Horizon one we just got, and you got the remakes, just like what was the last remake? Because I'm thinking Demon Souls is like that was the last Blue Point game, right? Because I'm thinking the Blue Point stuff. Because usually it's Blue Point. They've been kind of quiet lately, so I'm just like, what are they doing? But then I guess the Nixie stuff for PC. But that's the thing, right? Is like now they're like more into PC now, and it's just like, ugh, it's a whole thing. That's the crazy thing to me is like when they put out like the PC launch trailers on their PlayStation channel on YouTube, and it's like, so, am I supposed to be excited for this game I already played? Because am I supposed to buy a gaming PC now so I can play this as well? Which is like just it's a whole I think it's a whole mess. It's their own problem though. It's also weird because it's like if they launch everything on PC as well, it makes sense. But then Astrobot wasn't on PC day one, so it's like I don't know what they're doing. It's like what is are some things not coming to PC? So it's like I don't know because it's like that's the way you should do it if you don't want to like have stuff end up like Concord, pour one out. um, yes, it's like and then like the invisible live service pillar, like just kill that pillar, just destroy it, just like melt it down. Don't do that. Um, I'm trying to think where I was going with this. I had like another pillar I was going to say besides effing. Oh, okay. So it's like fifth pillar is the like just like you have like new IP. It's like new IP, but they're like double A games, and then like you don't have to spend 5 to 10 years making them, like all your franchise games or sequel or not sequels or new IP if it is like of that like tier, right? Because like that's what Concord was. Concord was like in the new IP tier, but then it was also kind of in like the live service I'm sorry, pillar, not tier. Same thing, different word, whatever. And so like, but then like we all know how we feel about games like Avengers and effing Suicide Squad and like the list goes on. And it's like there's enough of those. It's like one more isn't gonna be like, oh man, can't wait to play that one. It's like I think I'm good actually. and then it sells like 15,000 copies or whatever the story is. And man, that because like yeah, you've got like in the same year you had like the best selling PlayStation game ever or fastest selling. I I don't think it's the bad. I think it was like the fastest selling, right? Because it's not like at 20 million copies or something crazy. So it's like it's the fastest selling, but not like the best selling yet of like Helldivers 2 and like Concord, which is like a complete failure. So it's like you can have those both. That's why that is like the case. It's like you had like one in like the column that like nobody wants, which is like the live service thing, but then you had like a double A legacy property because there's the first Helldivers. I played it. It's on the channel somewhere. I mean, I didn't care for that. I mean, not that I didn't care for it. I didn't care for the sequel. I wasn't interested in it. Like, I still haven't picked it up. I'm probably not going to because it's not for me. But man, it sold like a ton of. I mean, but then like I just said, PC and console day one. So it's you know, there's a story out today. I didn't get to hear it because I was watching the Grabcast. I came in too late though. I was watching and like they were talking about it. I think after the fact, but it was something about like, or maybe I came in like at the end of that, so I saw the headline. But it was something about like Capcom sells like more on PC than all or like their all the console sales combined or something. It was just the headline was like very interesting. I need to go back and watch it, but it's like you can't just be like yeah, like Square Enix, right? It's like Final Fantasy 16. Like you can't just do one platform. Like you have to put everything out on everything. If you're third party. But this is also like Xbox's strategy now. So I'm curious to see like how I guess how PlayStation answers if they do, because it's like I feel like not every property from Xbox going forward is going to be like that successful or just like on that level. Because like, Call of Duty can do it, and like it sold like the most ever, but like that's Call of Duty. Like they don't have like a deep bench of like non-acquired properties, I should say, because it's like they've got all the Bethesda stuff, they got all the Activision stuff, like all the stuff that they have from like publishers and studios that they own or bought, but stuff that they like made up on their own or was their own idea. Hmm, So yeah. Anywho, so I'm curious to see like I guess that's also the thing, right? Because like this was the year like when they surrendered, and then Indiana Jones is like I don't know how soon it is if it's day one, but like I'm interested to see if they just go like we don't because it seems like that's what how they are like they're like we don't care, we just want to sell as many copies of like whatever game, no matter where it's at. So it's like I'm interested to see if they like go back on the whole we're going to evaluate every game and just go like everything is everywhere day one. Even Game Pass because no traction there, no needle moving. I feel like whatever, that's a whole other can of worms. Okay, I'm like at the end of this. I'm not at the end of this, but it's like I'm just gonna end it there because it's like, dude, I'm kind of just going on about stuff that's not related to anything. It's just like as far as like the three things, because I'm working on changing the channel, IRL stuff. I am way out of bounds on the themes. But as far as IRL stuff is it's election time. So, get out there and vote. And it's like I'm not gonna make an endorsement. I'll just say, you know, vote against the Republicans. Interpret that how you want to, because it's not an endorsement. I didn't say who to vote for. I just said who not to vote for. It's because, yeah, I'm going to vote tomorrow. So yeah, uh, I was going to add more to that. I was thinking about how I was going to say that earlier because I was going to add more to it because in 2016 I voted for Jill Stein, but that's just how I was feeling. And this year voting for Harris Walls, and then 2020 I voted for Joe Biden. But it's like there's a clear choice between the evil, psychotic cult and the okay, they still suck, but it's like come on, it's not even close. Or just sometimes you're like, you know what, I'm not gonna vote for you, and I'm gonna vote for Jill Stein. So take that, and like yeah, I mean I live in a red state, so I mean I would say it's your choice. It's like I can't tell you what to do. Just yeah, and maybe you don't even vote. Anyway, whatever. Moving on. Let's get out of electoral politics before I end up there for too long. Um, but yeah, I do think I have another video I'm gonna make about PS3 stuff because I have it hooked up, and I've been meaning to make those videos where I said earlier in the year when like the Xbox store closed or the Xbox Marketplace closed and I didn't get around to them, so I need to do that. So I would like to get those done. Uh, and there's some other stuff I want to talk about on like the PSN store on PlayStation, as far as like sometimes it's like, oh man, there's no classics or like there's retro stuff's all gone, but there's some stuff there. There's also some like sales I think for like time splitters, and I kind of wanted to highlight it, but like I said, I didn't want to spend any money on PlayStation Store because PlayStation took the PlayStation Star PSN code rewards off, and it's like, oh, I was going to use those. But I guess going forward now, I'll just get them every time I have enough points because it's like you never know when they'll do something like this and they're gone. So it's like, yeah, I learned my lesson the hard way. And it's like if they're not back before after or like yeah, if they're not back on the PS Stars thing before after the Black Friday deals have passed, well, I think I'm just maybe like gonna spend a lot less on PlayStation stuff for the rest of the year because next year it's just GTA and Monster Hunter for me, and I already pre-ordered Monster Hunter, so I was already like thinking I'm gonna go back to like the wait till the end of the year, buy stuff at half off, and it's like thanks for pushing me to that conclusion, PlayStation, because you don't care and you're not trying, and it's like you don't have to because you already won. I see, but it's like it doesn't have to be this way, man. It doesn't have to be like PS3 where you just do bad stuff all the time. All right, IRL section or IRL stuff, and then we're out of here. So to follow up on on last month's Giant Taken, when it's like, oh man, is Benjamin and is Benjamin Netanyahu and his regime gonna just stop at Gaza, stop at the West Bank, and not do anything to Lebanon? It's like, oh, they indeed did decide to start, bombing indiscriminately in Lebanon. Also, I keep getting annoyed every time I hear in like news media like whatever I'm hearing or reading, and they say the war in Gaza or the conflict in Gaza, and they don't call it genocide, and it's just like that just super irks me. That just cannot say how like that's also why I said, dude. I was like, just as long as you vote for Trump, it's fine, because it's like I'm not gonna I can't sit here and like say effing I can't I or like me personally, that's like why I'm not like making an endorsement to be like, oh yeah, Harris Walls. It's like I can't do that when it's just like a continuation of the Biden administration of like, oh, we're gonna just, um, be super complacent and uh, what's that word called? Implicit, not implicit. Illibit. There's a word. Not quite. Not. Oh my gosh, I'm blanking. Oh no. Effing. Enabling. Not quite enabling, but like complicit. That's it. Complicit to a genocide, dude. So yeah, f that crap. But like but then it's like ultimately it would only get well, it's gonna get worse either way. But then it's like one side is like much worse, and what one side is like less worse. So it's like oh yay, the American duopoly, isn't it great? um. So yeah. Wow, that was whatever. I knew what I was gonna try to say ahead of time, but then like actually not having it written down to say it, it was like yeah, getting through that part anyway of the Chadwick and the RL stuff. So I guess I'll just do my sign off now. And that's it for this episode. I went over an hour. I'm sorry. I said an hour. I was gonna try to like get like an hour flat, but I didn't. I didn't. A bit over time here, but whatever. So uh, yeah. Grazie Ukraine, glory to Ukraine, Tiananmen Square, 1989, free Hong Kong, and free Palestine, ceasefire now, stop the genocide, stop, yeah, stop giving the Netanyahu administration regime weapons to just, indiscriminately bomb and kill civilians. That'd be nice. Anywho, that's the end of this episode. I, I think I need to do like a separate thing for IRL, dude. Like IRL stuff at the end, and it's always a downer at the end, and it's like, ugh, man. It's been like over a year since like October 7th, and it's like, a year from now, will it be better? Will it be worse? It's like I'm not gonna say where I think the wind is blowing on that one, but yeah, It's like, oh yeah, but Chris, new administration, it'll change. Yeah, after every votes and stuff. It's like, that's not how that. We'll see. Yeah. Hope springs eternal. Anyway, uh, see, N7 Day soon. I might do something for that as well. I really did want to get PS5 Pro, but I mean, I will still get it. I'll just wait like an extra week because I would also like. I'm also waiting to see like the technical, you know, if it's actually that much better on any of like the stuff. And like also I don't have like, okay, my TV is like it's 4K, but it's not like top of the line OLED 4K. So I'm thinking maybe I should get a TV first and then get a PS5 Pro. But it's like I, j- I would like to do that, but I kind of want to move out of my apartment that I'm in. But that's a whole other can of worms, and that's whatever. So it's like I would like to upgrade TVs, but it's like I'll just wait until I'm in another apartment because I would like to move out of this one, but I haven't started looking for a new one, and it's just that's a whole other can of worms as well. So yeah, everything is in flux in this unprecedented time, and that's it for this. Oh, actually, yeah, there's all the links in the bottom like always. So that's it for this chat with Tekken. Feel free to leave a like, comment, subscribe, favorite, or not. That's cool too. And until you see or hear from me again, thanks for watching. And I'm now signing off.